In America and now in many countries on this earth, judges issue televised decrees on what a song is worth. Contestants seek fame, producers seek ratings, but no one sings along. That's the creed of the American idolization of song. Were you waiting for the queen and king of song to be crowned? Were you sedated or too cool to sing when the chorus came around? Has a strange idolatry placed a strain on our voices to train them to cower? 'Cause when we sing with purpose together, the idols lose their power. Something in the music has gone so very wrong. Turn away, turn away, turn away. Turn away from the American idolization of song. Turn away, turn away, turn away, turn away, turn away. Turn away from the American idolization of song. Rejoice at the sound of a person singing. If you feel the inspiration, that voice really wants the open heart you're bringing, not your adulation. Look behind the glamour of the contest scheme. There's a regime that sets the judging panel. Its narrow vision and commercial interests fill almost every channel. Something in the culture has gone so very wrong. Here it comes. Turn away, turn away, turn away. Turn away from the American idolization of song. A song is filling up the public square. Tyrants beware, this force multiplier. For song can help to change the course of history by lifting a million voices higher. Something in our voices says we can all be strong. Here it comes. Turn away, turn away, turn away. Turn away from the American idolization of song. How long had people sung words of meaning before they had TV? When they sang songs, do you think that they were dreaming about how famous they could be? Every language, generation, and style, it's worthwhile to sing with feeling, for song links us to the essence of what makes us human beings. I hear harmony and beauty in that world where I belong. That turned away, turned away, turned away. Turned away from the American idolization of song. Let's turn towards each other, my sisters and brothers. Then let's sing another. Turn away, turn away, turn away, turn away. Turn away from the American idolization of song. Friends, it's amazing to be here. I live in Greenfield, Massachusetts. I've seen a lot of you on Zoom in the last year and a half. A lot of you because you're part of the People's Music Network, and that's how I've seen a lot of you. And it's incredible to be back here in this kind of in-person setting, and like a little credit to the People's Voice Cafe crew, Steve Suffolk, Sally Campbell, John Breitbart, so many volunteers here, but like this collective, Marilyn Suffit, all these people who are coming off the top of my mind, who I have worked with to come here in the past, who form a space where we can be together. And I don't know about you, but for me, you know, this sort of like last year and a half has involved some dimension of spiritual rot that happens when an important part of your life kind of leaves the scene. You know, even if other cool things are happening, when you really neglect an important part of your life, something can happen to your soul. And being back here is transforming me, and I want to thank you for that. And Dilson, my comrade, Dilson Hernandez, another round of applause. All right, here's the next song. So in 1986 or so, the Beach Boys recorded this song called Kokomo. And Kokomo is not a place, right? I mean, it's kind of like one of these songs, I don't know about you, like I would let it kind of go by on the radio or whatever and just sort of didn't catch all the meaning of it, but there was like Bermuda, Bahama. But like the hook is all about islands in the Caribbean. And Kokomo isn't a place, it's just a made up place, but it's like the fantasy of a Westerner who's on vacation, right? And he's just going some stupid place called doesn't even exist, right? But this is where you can get away from all of your problems. Go to the Caribbean. Get away from all your problems. Parody is a tool that is, I think, generally associated with something funny. But parody, as I understand the term, is actually taking a thing that exists and actually saying something new about it. So this is one of those. Bahamas, living through the traumas in New Orleans, Long Island, fleeing up to dry land. Turks and Caicos feel where the heartache grows, far from these catastrophes. There's glaciers formed of ancient snow that took 1,000,000 years to grow to be the size they are. Overlooked but grand, they're melting off the land. The water that drains to the sea raises where the ocean stands, and it's melting from the ancient snow. Vieques, Bahamas, living through the traumas in New Orleans, Long Island, fleeing up to dry land. Turks and Caicos feel where the heartache grows. My heart is aching 'cause the ancient snow is melting fast and the response is slow. The sea needs a place to go, filled with melted ancient snow. Bangladesh, a country in distress. Look out on the sea. There's a wrenching reality. Less ice loads the dice for even more calamity. As the runoff flows, oceans swell and storm surge grows. Each degree the surface warms, intensifies the superstorms that churn the melted ancient snow. Vieques, Bahamas, living through the traumas in New Orleans, Long Island, fleeing up to dry land. Turks and Caicos feel where the heartache grows. My heart is aching 'cause the ancient snow is melting fast and the response is slow. The sea needs a place to go, filled with melted ancient snow. Vietnam, there's salt in the Mekong. Everyone should know the seas are rising from ancient snow. People need a place to go where they have shelter from all the rising melted ancient snow. The Ecus Bahamas, living through the traumas in New Orleans, Long Island, fleeing up to dry land. Turks and Caicos feel where the heartache grows. My heart is aching 'cause the ancient snow is melting fast and the response is slow. The sea needs a place to go, filled with melted ancient snow. Let's try it together. Vieques, Bahamas, living through the traumas. Vieques, Bahamas, living through New Orleans. In New Orleans, Long Island, fleeing up to dry land. Turks and Caicos feel where the heartache grows. My heart is aching 'cause the ancient snow is melting fast and the response is slow. The sea needs a place to go, filled with melted ancient snow. Like I said, I live in Greenfield, Massachusetts, and in Worcester, Massachusetts, there's a strike of nurses that has been going on for over 200 days. They've been out on strike since March 2021. They've been fighting for better staffing at the hospital. It's, the corporation they're fighting is called Tenet Healthcare. They run hospitals all over the country. They're based in Dallas. And, you know, this safe staffing issue is such a prevalent one all over the country. And we're trying to win this strike in Worcester. It's a big fight. There's been a lot of community support, and I'm hoping to get out to the picket line again soon. But this one is a more typical kind of parody, and I'll help you out with the chorus too, but I think you're gonna catch on to it. You know, Charlie and the MTA, for those of you familiar with Boston, you get your ticket to go on the train around town, and it's called the Charlie card. And it was named after Charlie and the MTA, right? The hapless working class character, protagonist of the song, who like goes around Boston, can't get off because he had the dime to get on, didn't have the nickel to get off, because that's the way that they used to raise the fare back in the day, and rather than just screwing you over digitally with, oh, we're gonna raise the fare easily with our little digital increaser. But they actually had to build a physical kiosk back in the day when this particular protest song was written in 1948, 10 years before it was popularized by the Kingston Trio. But here we go. Well, let me tell you of the story of a nurse named Nancy and the way that she's been ignored. She grabbed her stethoscope and scrubs, kissed her husband and family, went to work on the med-surg floor. But did she ever return? No, she never returned, and her fate is still unlearned. What a pity, she may work forever in the med-surg unit. She's a nurse who never returned. Did she ever return? No, she never returned. Did she ever return? No, she never returned, and her fate is still unlearned. What a pity, she may work forever in the med-surg unit. She's the nurse who never returned. Nancy worked all night from 7 to 7, never letting her attention drift. Then the morning sun deceived her, there was no one to relieve her. Nancy couldn't get off her shift. But did she ever return? No, she never returned, and her fate is still unlearned. Poor old Nancy, she may work forever in the med-surg unit. She's the nurse who never returned. Nancy worked all day, giving medicines and comfort, but she never could get a break. She took care of 7 patients who had many complications and somehow had to stay awake. But did she ever return? No, she never returned, and her fate is still unlearned. She may work forever, forever in the med-surg return. Nancy told her boss, hey, we need more nurses to care for the patients here. He said, we think the pace is fine, so long as profits pass the baseline of $400 million last year. Does she read tax returns? Yes, she reads their returns, and she's seen the profits they earn. Shame and scandal, though her boss would never treat her fair. She fought him. She's a nurse who reads tax returns. Now, you hard-working nurses, don't you think it's a scandal that the bosses gotta be so cheap? Stay with our picket line till our contract has been signed, so Nancy can go home and sleep. Or else she'll never return, no, she'll never return, and her fate will be unlearned. Like poor old Charlie, she may work forever in the med-surg unit. She's the nurse who never returned. Did she ever return? No, she never returned, and her fate is still unlearned. She may work forever in the med-surg unit. She's the nurse who never returned. She's the nurse